against Sevilla at the weekend and was a big part in Los Blancos' best performance in my eyes all season long.
Were you surprised?
Really. In every working day on the practice field at Valdebebas. Wow!
Well, he's been saving it up and got all of his money's worth, and they needed it. Modric would add.
Real Madrid that got their fans reconnected with their colours, with their '93 is just nowhere good enough.
في الجهة اليسرى. هذا كريم في اختبار ربما يكون الأصعب حتى الآن بالنسبة لريال مدريد على مستوى بطولة الكأس، لأنه واجه مين؟ واجه
their colours, with their badge. It was more Real Madrid football of the highest order, of the attacking order, up against a team that was with their badge in La Liga, and they were fairly and squarely beaten.
Seeing the supporters in the background, a grab by the 37-year-old Gorka.
Talking about this team that has won the Copa del Rey, but Phil, they've only won it twice since 1993. It's just nowhere good enough. It regarded as the King's Cup, and of course the connection with the royal family and Real Madrid is well documented.
Here's Karim, parried away by Ramallo. Benzema electing to stick with a splint on a severely broken finger.
You give a look at this Real Madrid side, and you know that they've had their problems with the management and all sorts of injuries and everything, but the Champions League, can they do 4? Well, La Liga seems to be slipping away from them. This Cup, the Copa del Rey, there's a great opportunity for them, given all of the slips that Atletico and Barcelona may be facing.
Vasquez taking on Douglas Luiz. The City loanee forcing it wide, corner far side. Well, as you said, no one has ever come back from a double-digit lead in the second half of the season, or should I say a deficit, but you kind of sense if they turn it around. Oh, chested away by Granel. Out wide for Borja. Looking long. Dumbia. Meanwhile, Girona, 12th place in league. But that's a little deceptive because it only takes a couple of games to get you from Europe down to the relegation zone and back the other way. 21 points for Celta Vigo in 17th place, just above the drop. 26 points for Real Sociedad in 8th place, just outside the European zone. So 5 points the difference.
A nice start to this game by Girona, and it's a lovely set of sequence passes there. Good ball!
In and touched home by Lozano. The Honduran strikes. And Girona draws first blood.
Wonderful passing. Dumbia again. It was his goal in the 88th minute that sent Atletico Madrid out, so he's proven to be a Honduran hero.
Lozano scored the goal against Atletico Madrid in the 1-1 draw at home. These his only 2 goals of the season, but what goals against Atleti and Real. Ceballos for Vinicius. Tries to kick it wide. Ceballos drags, drops, parried away.
It's wonderful play by Ceballos. That little roll absolutely froze the defender and give him that extra couple of feet right next to the dead ball line. Clever play.
Douglas Luiz, though, calm and in good position. Parried away again by Ramallo. Douglas Luiz, the City loanee in his 2nd season with Girona out of Vasco da Gama. Holding midfielder. A lot of promise. Although City leaving him for a little more seasoning in Catalonia.
Well, that's put the cat amongst the pigeons. But this is an almighty length of time that Real Madrid have with their world-class players to start chipping away. But he knew that Girona were coming in with their tail well and truly high after going to the Metro, the Wanda Metropolitano, and turning over Atletico, and Stuani on the bench. You know, that all-important road goal has already been achieved.
Ball slid in, sliding over is Alcalá to deny Benzema.
Here's the 1-2 right here. It's a lovely hold-up play by Garcia, and then the diamond ball, and then this is a Kuano diamond ball. Look how he stabs through it. It's exquisite service, and with all due respect to Ciro Dumbia, his grandma on a rocking chair would have been able to put that one home. Lozano, excuse me.
10 minutes in, goal 3 minutes ago. Eusebio Sacristan, the former Barcelona player and coach, brought in to try and revive Girona. Vinicius parried away. Second leg a week from today. And then it's on to the semifinals. Of course, it was the quarters last year where Leganés ended up shocking Real Madrid. Odriozola drops. Vasquez peeking, can't find an opening.
The opening was there for a split second, but he hesitated with the first time pass.
Modric for Casemiro, but he can't repeat history. Well, what would a Real Madrid game be this season without a hill to climb?
Yeah, they make it hard for themselves. All part of the entertainment factor, I'm sure.
Although
but we'll see what they've got in the locker in terms of a response. We've seen them rocked before and come back this season. And with this man on the ball at his best, he can open up a lock from 50 yards away. But his defending certainly got him caught with his knickers down that time, Marcelo.
Far side, Vasquez in for Modric. Has Casemiro inside. Odriozola getting the start in place of Ceballos today. Does have 3 assists in this Copa del Rey campaign, does the young Basque right back. Blasted low, slapped away Gorka, and he gets some help from Muniesa.
Well, that's more like Marcelo takes one look at the whites of the goalposts and stings this one towards Irazos, and it's well dealt with. That one hopping right there, looked as if he was going to catch it cleanly, but just too much pace on it. Gets away with it.
Gorka coming over from Athletic Bilbao a couple of seasons ago. Spent much of his top flight career with Espanyol. Good solid backup. Out wide. In for Casemiro, back for Modric. Playing that 4-3-3 with Casemiro
unlucky.
In the hole.
Through nicely.
Vinicius cutting past Alcalá. Back to his right foot. Can't find the trigger. And Modric running out of space.
Casemiro was on. It was a little 2-yard ball for Ceballos to play after wonderful play from the Brazilian on this left wing.
Vasquez looking for Casemiro, settles, but Muniesa reads it well.
And you heard the groans and moans around the stadium, just like from this booth, where after the Vinicius dancing machine takes hold, wonderful abracadabra, and then the coolness to pick out the next pass was brilliant. He knows he's in the box and he's got a lot of options. He found Ceballos, and Ceballos had Casemiro just twitching like a greyhound in the traps, Phil. He would have pulled his red hot trigger and lit it up. Invite didn't come.
Ball played square. Alcalá, the 29-year-old from unfancied Llagostera about 3 seasons ago, and now locking down a spot on the back line. Carlos Planes, Hadai, Mojica, all out injured, as is the Man City loanee and promising phenom Patrick Roberts. Otherwise, Girona would be in much better shape, but then Navas, Vallejo, Bale, Mariano, Asensio, Kroos and Llorente still not back, and Ben's battling that broken finger. Real rather beaten up as Ray, and our brand new Copa Libertadores family, which got underway this week. Foul, says Undiana Mayenko.
Well, a little bit theatrical here. Ceballos in lifetime.
Casemiro dropping back. Ramos staying pinched in with Nacho.
As wonderful as Girona's success has been in this Copa del Rey so far.
Vinicius, delicate, cleared away by the giant Ramirez.
You just wonder, Phil, have they got it in their locker? Have they got it in their dressing room to go very deep? They've got a big game at the weekend against Barcelona, and survival's their priority. But there's nothing like a good cup run. And to take Atletico Madrid out and now to be leading Real Madrid, I'm not so sure that they'll be focused on Barcelona.
Casemiro saying he barely touched him. Lozano draws the foul, but then gifted right back by Girona.
Certainly haven't got anywhere near the resources Sacristan's men that he does to pick from. They'll be looking for the big cup as well. Look out.
Good ball, Benzema. Odriozola stretching, dropping, chipping it in is Vasquez, and Real Madrid has tied it up.
Odriozola, beautiful here. Leads them a merry dancing. Lucas Vasquez gets rewarded. He's got options. Odriozola takes it all into account. Right from the halfway line. Lovely tic-tac-toe. Casemiro keeps it alive. Benzema leads him on the way, and he takes the primrose way. It's like a set of cheetahs onto a gazelle, and look at this, he's already taken the picture 100 times in his cerebral camera, and he puts it on an absolute golden altar for Lucas, who finishes easy peasy lemon squeezy to tie the game up. But Odriozola deserves full credit for that wonderful selection.
Fourth assist of this Copa del Rey for Real Madrid's backup right back.
Oh, maybe the future. He's already established that he's ready for the big time.
Oh, whipped across by Granel. Brought down by Garcia. Lifting it back across. Here's Ramallo. Plays it square. Parried by Courtois. Another good cross from Garcia Carnero out wide on the left.
Yep, Courtois not risking taking it in between his hands, using his fist of fury just to get it out. Odriozola one side, Reguilon on the other. Two beautifully bright stars in Real Madrid's rebuild, if you like. They're certainly building on youth when you look at the latest signings that they've been operating in, Phil.
Benzema splits two, tries to sneak it around, deflected wide for the corner.
It's clever play by Benzema, using the defender intentionally just to ricochet and get the corner. Getting hot under the collar, Eusebio.
The ball from Ramallo that Courtois took care of. Out comes Gorga, and what a punch.
Textbook from the ex-Athletic Club man.
A little deflection. Doumbia can't get there, though.
Such a good goalkeeper, all the wealth of experience, of course. 10 years he was at Athletic Club. 37-year-old now, but they give him the starts in the King's Cup.
He wasn't too happy when they gave Kepa the starting job. Moved on, and Girona glad to have him. Vinicius to his left. Ramallo blocks once. Snuck across, and Benzema shoots it off target.
Like smoke through a keyhole from Vinicius. Gets a big thumbs up. Take a look at this. It comes back to him. Two players inside a telephone box, and he don't care. Beautifully arrowed back and sets the table for Benz. He's got to whisk it quickly. It comes in because it's really had to be pinged from Vinicius. And Benzema just can't adjust his gyroscope quick enough. Magic from the Brazilian.
Girona scored first, but now it looks like Real Madrid on a front foot. Well, they have had their problems. Defense at home has not been one of them. Only 5 goals allowed in league play, and no one has more clean sheets, although they won't get one today. Girona realizes they won't have too many chances. Although that vital road goal could prove important again.
Yeah, first time they've ever been this far in the club's history is the quarterfinals, so it's a historic day over these 2 legs. It'll be a historic week.
Handball against Borja Garcia. The ex-Madridista disagrees for naught. I think he has an argument.
Yeah, he was right on that corner of the shoulder.
Girona did advance to the round of 16 a couple of times in their history, but
good run
way back 36 and 49.
Great ball by Benzema. That's beautiful.
Here's Odriozola again, stretching the back line, trying to sneak it in himself, but Big Gorka pays the price.
He's just taking it one step further. He feels as if he can get past the last defender. Benzema was open for the square ball, and Gorka takes a whack to his breadbasket, but he knows And he's saying his apologies to Benzema. It's another brilliant run from Odriozola. But when we see it again, Phil, he just takes one extra step before trying to pass it, and all the lads are telling him, just feed the open pass when it's there. There's another good look. There's wonderful football. Casemiro, Benzema, and then this lovely lead ball. Now take a look. There's the pass back for Benzema, and it's very, very tight. And he feels as if he can around big Gorka, but that's good goalkeeping in the end.
And I think it's the clash between Garcia and Gorka that leaves the Girona goalkeeper in pain. But another good try by Odriozola.
Admirable, wonderful run. But more to the point, it was tremendous football, cutting, and this is the end result. But prior to the ball from Benzema, there was 2 or 3 involvements as well that'll really please Santiago Solari. These are the types of connections in the chemistry class of football that the fans love. And whereas Odriozola pulled that one back, it was more like an identical play for Benzema, but he took one extra step.
One extra touch by Alcala, but finally cleared away. Saw Yassine Bono, the Quebec-born Moroccan goalkeeper, loosening up in case Gorka can't continue.
I think he'll be fine.
Benzema mentioned he's been battling an injury. They thought surgery would be needed, which might knock him out of action for a few weeks. But they're going to go with the splint for now on that broken finger.
It's his little finger, right?
But it feels big. Ramos.
I was talking to Terry Gibson, the ex-Crazy Gang Wimbledon man. He says he played with a broken wrist for 3 months when he played for Wimbledon. Vinnie Jones and the rest of the lads just put a strap on it, they said.
I think Vinnie played with a broken head for a few games. 20 minutes
uncomfortable,
left.
But Benzema isn't crying about it. That's a good ball.
Oh, needed a better pass. He saw the run by Benz, who does a good job to knock it out for the throw-in. Right, maybe you're right. Maybe, even though they did give it the early goal here, we're seeing more signs of what we saw against Sevilla on the weekend.
And again, the connectivity with these fans, they're liking what they see. A much more aggressive approach, and this is a team that's still in rotation, and 1 or 2 players still looking for their best form. But slowly, surely, it's starting to come back together in more of a Real Madrid type fashion. Good play again. Lovely
Benz
lead
on the outside shoulder.
Oh, he'll take him on.
Vinicius against Alcala. Snuck it in, but the deflection to Gorka.
Goes down on him nicely there and shut all of his passages to goal. Good defending by Girona. Ramallo.
This is the 4th and final of the first legs in the quarterfinals. Started on Tuesday with Getafe continuing to impress. And Super George, Jorge Molina, with another goal. Meanwhile, yesterday saw Sevilla shock Barcelona. Sarabia and Ben Yedder earlier today, just prior, as the ball touched back by Lozano. Back for the Honduran, who slips and might have pulled something. Out quickly.
Oh.
And Ramos is hungry.
Beautiful ball.
Vasquez in for the captain, but at the edge of the area, Gorka.
Benzema's pass absolutely split millimeter perfect. Not so much Lucas to his captain. You'll be hearing about that at half-time.
Slips and might have pulled something. Out quickly. Go Lainez.
Yep, Lainez just come in for the last 10 minutes and put his stamp on the game immediately. Well played, Mexico.
Gracias. Approaching the half-hour mark, bit of a feeling stage at the moment. Girona a little tentative.
Well played, Lucas Vasquez. That tandem down that side between Vasquez and Odriozola, lighting it up. Look out!
Vinicius again favoring his right. Ooh! And just sending it over the crossbar.
Lovely hesitation. And in that hesitation comes the calibration. Take a look. Lovely ball again. Lovely interplay. Pretty triangles. Pretty feet. Pretty damn good effort, this one, to go for the postage stamp. Quick, slick play, not just, and it's one-touch football. That's the beauty of it.
Ramos again, first to the ball. Out for Odriozola. That is part of the Solari method. He likes those fullbacks to stretch. Vasquez deflected. Benzema couldn't catch it clean.
Well, there's nothing new about that, Phil. You got Carvajal on one side and, of course, Marcelo on the other, more often than not, and that is the way. And two of the best in the world, and being pushed in their positions by the young guns in Reguilon and Odriozola. That's a good sign.
Ramallo. Iker Muniain's good buddy coming up in the athletic system. Oh! Ceballos sees it, but so did Alcala.
Wonderful anticipation. Was it Grenell that got to that, Phil? Wonderful interception.
Alcala, big man on the back line. Ramallo. Marcelo stays with him.
Well, Alcala had to get that one, and he had to slide down, get dirty, and extend his telescopic legs. Just cut that one out.
Grenell to the inside.
Well
Casemiro pushed by his compatriot Douglas Luiz.
I'm going to say there's no foul there for Casemiro, but Luiz just gets across. Here's the end result. Look at that wonderful balletic dynamic. We've got Big Gorka beating all ends up, and the boss winces.
Vinicius lofted high in the air. A little collision with Alcala leaves Vasquez grabbing his backbone, landing right on his rump.
Very sporting of Girona. They're not supposed to stop unless it's an injury to the head, but they heard the whistles and they sportingly put it out, and he's coming up from a long way. And just as well, the turf has been watered pretty heavily, because there'll be a little bit of give being there, and that's on the that point of your spine right at the end. You'll feel that.
The coccyx back in place.
The coccyx, that's what it was. That's what I was looking for, Phil. Thank you.
All the way out. Back for Juanpe. Alcala.
Nice.
Ramallo.
Well played. Runs away. Look at, read him like Jack and Jill went up the hill, and Modric.
Nice idea, but Muniesa staying with it. Douglas Luiz dispossessed, then pulls it from Ceballos' rear pocket. It's a foot race. Lozano. And Nacho handles it well. A foul on the way, and it looks like the ref's going to call it.
Yeah, another look at this wonderful attack. And Casemiro reaching in and keeping it alive. And that was probably the key pass. This is an easy open ball for Benzema. Odriozola pulls it back beautifully. Synchronized passing machine, cutting apart Girona.
Garcia might stay in.
Oh,
chested down by Marcelo. Well, last year Girona lost at the first hurdle against Levante, losing 3-1 on aggregate. Real Madrid beating Fuenlabrada and Numancia and taking on unfancied Leganés in the quarterfinals, only to lose. Back looking for their 20th Copa del Rey this year.
Classy move again by Real Madrid. So quick and sharp with their passes.
Yes, anticipating that one, but straight back to Casemiro.
Girona have actually played well, but it's just that last ball like this that's missing. Wanted it first time, Benzema from Casemiro, little touch header, Benz is saying. The crowd, full applause again, applauding failure, and that's a good sign, because they know the intention is totally right.
Ceballos. Modric stepping up to the party, waits the ball for Odriozola, but Gorka able to cut it out.
Well, Odriozola. It's okay. Ay, ay, ay.
Well, fans agree with you. No problem, said the referee. 45-year-old Undiana Mayenko out of Pamplona. Going on 2 decades in the top flight.
Sure.
Dumbia sneaks it through for Lozano, sends it back, but somehow Ramos reads it again. Hard collision, Alcalá against Vinicius, and that's going to be a card.
Completely takes him. This is cynical, because he knows he's got a tiger by the tail and his teeth in the other end. Alcalá made to evaporate until he gets his machete out of his jockstrap and takes him down. Proper yellow card.
Again, it's where the ball is, but Gorka walking a tightrope. Vinicius. Vasquez. Benz thinks about it. Chest settles, shoots, but right to Iraitos.
Well, this one would have been one for the scrapbooks. Wonderful from Lucas as well, who's having a fine opening game. Look at this little drip of honey on it. Spins like a cork in a champagne bottle. And then, speaking of champagne, the Frenchman arrives. Lovely setup on his chest. And a whisk, and just 2 degrees of separation between the strike and beating Big Gorka.
There, as you see, especially on that offensive left flank, Vinicius looking to light the fire. Ramos first to the loose ball. And a player still down. I think it's Lozano, and he's grabbing his throat. Fans wanted the play to continue, but he is in obvious discomfort. And it was running into his own player, Douglas Luiz. Take another look. It was Lozano in better times in the 7th minute.
Oh, the pass from Garcia was a true primavera, wasn't it? And then this one, Odriozola, he varnishes his pass in between 3 players, truly threading the golden needle. And wow, that's pretty intricate. What happened to the good old handshake?
Nice from Benz. Vinicius off to the races. Trickles it to the spot. A little bump from behind. Undiano had a good view and says no foul.
Well, we all had a good view. And I think this was a penalty. In lifetime, we'll take a look. But I think this is a penalty kick. And I haven't seen the replay yet. But it's beautiful football again out wide. And the ball presented. Take a look at this. Oh, we got the ball through the legs.
Was there contact before?
Oh,
maybe.
Truly maybe. Look at this. Reaches in and gets the ball. Maybe. Just as Modric was good. And you can understand how Luka is complaining. That's not acting like Pinocchio. And I think they've seen it the right way. What a good call by the referee, Phil. That was amazing.
Saw it in live play, and there was not enough to make him change his mind.
Being able to see it again, and they are absolutely like Mount Vesuvius here, truly erupting. But in the replay, we'll cut it up a dozen times again, man. But it seemed that the referee got it right. No penalty.
Well, just a moment after he slammed into his own player. Douglas Luiz avoids slamming into Luka Modric and pokes it free. Ending ball at the 18, Nacho with a touch. The Brazilian kind of going with a half Abel Xavier with a bleach blonde beard.
Talk about a coordinated reach-in by Douglas Luiz. It's very close to simultaneously catching Luka.
Vinicius right on the line, but they're going to say in the area and a penalty. This one, Undiano Mayenko does point to the spot.
Immediately, unhesitantly, a wonderful hesitation again. Steps inside the box right there, and his feet are taken inside the penalty box. It's a calculated reach by Lozano, but he gambles and he gets it wrong, and that is a true penalty.
And again, contact might even have started outside, but it carries in.
Oh no, here is the extravagant Sergio Ramos.
4 for 4 from the spot on the year.
Doing it his way, but the penalty style. Forget about the numbers. Let's have a look at his style, because he does it in his own inimitable way, and he varies it.
Gorka, the 37-year-old, goes to his knees, and another Panenka from Ramos.
Again, the audacity of him. The next time he'll probably pull out a tambourine as he's playing the ball. And he does it in such a variety of ways. Cristiano Ronaldo, eat your heart out. There's the penalty given. Here's the penalty kick dispatched magisterially. Sergio Ramos, the fist-shaking defender, got a Real Madrid tattoo on his tongue. That's how tough he is. He'd fight a Bengal tiger in the dark for Real Madrid. But he's a pianist with his feet. He's no piano carrier. Wonderful penalty kick, Phil.
Wouldn't you think that a goalkeeper would have seen the previous 4 and just stand there?
I don't know if every one of his 4 has gone down the middle. That's what I was setting up before. He can play to the left, he can play to the right, and in a blink of a bee's eye, he's looking at the goalkeeper, and then he adjusts all of his options in a nanosecond. Brilliant.
Well, he's become fond of the Panenka, and I think the Madridistas are as well.
It's a hell of a gamble. I mean,
drawing contact. Foul against Granel, and this one's starting to slip.
The goalkeepers, as you say, in the future are going to stand their ground, and maybe one day it'll go right down Main Street and the goalkeeper will have a laugh and a wink at Sergio, but nobody's caught him out yet.
Well, 4 goals and an assist in league play. That's his second cup goal for the Real
pass
captain.
by Ceballos.
Modric keeps it alive. Odriozola flips it across.
Outside of the foot. Beautiful from Odriozola. Again, they are having fun.
We start taking a look at the players on the field for Solani that are making it happen. Here's Marcelo to the goal line. He'll win a corner. And you start to see the pieces of the puzzle. And the Copa del Rey would be nice. Getting number 20. Getting closer to Barcelona as well. Ball headed back across. Vinicius lets it go. But maybe their best quest for a big trophy might be a 4th straight European title.
Well, he's saying that now, but just a few weeks ago that seemed like a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. And slowly but surely, and it was that last game against Sevilla that was the real marker, and certainly a big move up the gears for Real Madrid. And we'll see. They've got Espanyol next week and Atletico Madrid coming up.
And then Ajax to follow.
And that will be a tough game.
And there would be the first leg of the Cup semi-finals in that mix as well, should they advance. Back heel for Benz.
And let's not forget, getting some of the best players in the world just now starting to become fit and off of the training table. Well, the injuries are starting to disappear as well for Santiago. Look out.
Modric, the long stride. Steps Nacho.
Needs help.
Lays it off Benzema. Finds the corner, but it kisses wide.
Nacho, beautiful. Benzema, sweet. And the big white skinny friend, the goalkeeper. Post comes to the rescue. That beautiful arrow from the Frenchman. Look at it from this angle. He curls it, he swerves it, and it just kisses the upright as Gorka, as you say, Phil, pushes it wide with his eyes. And Ben's kind of get the final curve on it. A wonderful play again by Nacho now getting in on the act.
Good play by Vasquez. Casemiro. Back for Lucas. Stripped away by Granel. One back. And Ceballos' shot goes high.
Goes high and well wide. His team just getting overrun. And the game being played out in front of 7 defenders in the red and whites. In front of their 18-yard box. And no answer to them. And we haven't really seen Marcelo attacking too much.
Another nice move to the inside. Nacho with a rather cynical foul, but looks like he's just going to get a talking to. And nope, the yellow will come out. So Fernandez in the book.
Typical good run by Borja Garcia. The reach in, and I think that's a fair yellow card. There's nowhere close to the ball. Finally, Eusebio says.
Garcia made the jump about 3 years ago from the Castilla.
Nice placement this for an equalizer.
Although it's against the 6'6", 6'7" giant Thibaut Courtois. We're already deep into added time, and this will likely be the final play of the half. 7th minute goal from Lozano. Vasquez equalized 11 minutes later, and then about 5 minutes ago, Ramos from the spot to give Real the lead. And now Girona looking to tie it up again. The big man, Alcalá, shot deflected wide, and they won't have a chance for the corner. The half comes to a close. Real in front.
Ramos gives them the lead, and it's a deserved lead. Brave Girona trying to defend staunchly, but what answer to this?
2-1 Real at the break.
Stupendous penalty kick.
The moment you realize your half bath needs your full attention.
At Lowe's, we'll help you turn the bathroom you have into the one you've always wanted.
Refresh for less at Lowe's and get up to 35% off select bath faucets.
Moving in together. It's a big step. Getting used to each other's idiosyncrasies. It's an adventure. A test. A test that Jeff failed miserably.
The spacious Volkswagen Tiguan. More room means more fun.
Look around. With artificial intelligence, we are not crawling or walking. We are flying. Microsoft AI helps an architect bring history back to life. This is now. AI helps farmers grow more food with less resources. An engineer explores how AI could help the deaf see sound. Innovation creates tomorrow, and tomorrow is here today.
When a beauty named Margarita walked into a bar, Jose Cuervo mixed an icon in her honor. For over 220 years, Jose Cuervo Tradicional has been making history.
I know what it's like to feel like things
because he gets served the ball back from Vinicius, but look to the right of Vinicius. Two players waiting, begging for the ball, but he finds Big Ben's because he knows that left foot is capable of catapulting it past Gorka, and he nearly gets it through the wickets.
This will swing in towards Iraitos. More than 300 games for Athletic before making the move. Ramos, delicate and well disguised. Vasquez slams it off Bernardo. Coming back, Dumbia, who has been held in check. Bends. Sense the overlap. Odriozola back. Ramos back to his right back roots. And Ceballos wants that one back.
Well, the best left-footed pass by the captain. And a big challenge for Ceballos to control that one. A bit of a wayward ball. I cannot, as you say, take their eye off the target, Phil, this Real Madrid side, because Girona certainly don't stay in their shell. They will keep on coming, looking for goals. They scored twice at Camp Nou, 3 times at the Wanda. So the attitude looks right, though, from Real Madrid to try to bottle up this brave Sacristan team. They're putting on a good show, making it an entertaining Copa del Rey match, making him and his men work.
Still just 1 goal, and again, even a road goal, should Girona get the victory at home, would be good enough. Back for Lozano. Dumbia wanted it in the air, though. Good touch, Bernardo. Actually, Juanpe pushing in. Ball carries through.
A great ball sent across there, and Dumbia a little bit flat-footed.
Dumbia down, the header squirting wide.
He's not happy with his header, but I think part of that demonstration is about just not the ability to get a couple of steps onto that wonderful ball fed across the face of Courtois' penalty, 6-yard penalty box.
Good run, Dumbia. Out comes Courtois, but offside against the Ivorian. If it was offside, should have been called a lot earlier to try and avoid what could have been a collision.
Difficult to tell from that angle.
Iniesta whistled for the tangle.
With a very involved, workmanlike performance by Lucas Vasquez. Got his critics, but certainly when his boots are on the right feet, he can really open you up.
Zuma
nicely
slaloms to the inside. Up steps Odriozola. Casemiro needed more on it. Benzema wide open. Kroos loosening up on the sideline as he looks to make his return from injury.
Any Isco sightings, Phil?
Well, he is on paper, which is a step in the right direction. Modric measuring. Cleared by Bernardo. Wearing the captain's armband now that he's back out there. Dragging it forward, Ceballos, but then dragging down Bernardo in the process.
Sweet little touch pass from Benzema. Recognizing that Ceballos is on his way. And Ceballos calling for it. Here's another good look at the interchange between the Brazilian and the Frenchie. Wonderful strike. Good link up. a good understanding again emerging and developing between Benzema and this man.
Advantage played, overlap. Marcelo poked away Ramallo.
Again, just learning on the job. You'll see here, he'll say in his apologies, Vinicius, to Marcelo, because he could have led him just a half a step further. But again, the kid's learning on the job.
Marcelo again deflected. They'll get another try. Whipped across the 6. Ramos not clean enough. Nacho will track it down. Nice by Vasquez. But was he the one? No, they're going to say he was fouled.
Strong by Douglas Luiz here. There's a good battle between the two of them, and nothing cynical. There's two men, two rams, banging horns on the side of the mountain. Both of them, tit for tat.
Approaching the hour mark. Modric. Dumbia with a touch. Cleared by Muniesa, but only as far as Ceballos. Early ball, Vinicius. Borja Garcia. Ando Odriozola. Dumbia with a good idea, but Vasquez had it too. Chip it forward, but Juanpe in the way.
Borja Garcia, lovely little touches, and he gets this one back. Ex-Real Madrid Castilla man.
Luis held on one stride too long. Good tackle, Casemiro. Vinicius. Well read Bernardo. Luis again, maybe tiring. And Borja Garcia down in pain. And they will put it into touch.
Lucas Vasquez going over. You remember him from his Castilla days, and a talented player, and you can see it every time he gets the ball in his compass, his vision, his sweet touch. Real Madrid material, all right. Went on to Rayo Vallecano, part of that wonderful football in Rayo, without much success.
Beautiful little chip, but something gave.
Yeah.
So it looks like maybe a pulled hamstring, and that's going to lead to a change. But first, a return from injury to Marcos Llorente. He's going to get a half hour for Casemiro. Give you an idea how good Llorente did in his last stint. Many were thinking that Casemiro should have stayed on the bench, but then Llorente got hurt. So now, spoiled for choices, Santi Solari. Garcia standing on the sideline. And there will be the change. And this is an interesting story. Paik Sun-ho came over to Spain as a youngster to play in an international tournament. Real Madrid was scouting him, but Albert Poch was now in charge of a big academy in Northern California, was in charge of La Masia and Barcelona, and they signed him before Real could get a signature to paper. Now, finally, in the top flight with Girona just a few years later, and the 21-year-old stepping onto the field. Still part of the picture for South Korea's national team. This is second appearance for Girona's big team. His first coming in the home draw against Atleti. 30 minutes remain. Vasquez appeared to be offside. An appearance is not deceiving this time. And Toni Kroos is getting some instruction from Santi Sanchez on the sideline. To Courtois. Speaking of injuries, just back from injury himself, and just in time because Keylor Navas went down. Lucas Zidane is the backup goalkeeper for Real Madrid until Navas gets healthy. Vinicius sweeps it towards the 18. Drops it top of the box. The cannon from Ceballos. Llorente wide. Viesola wants it back, but Raul Garcia was ready this time. Vinicius ends with a touch that actually takes it away. Lozano decked as he runs into Ramos. And a card coming out. Wasn't just an accident, thinks Undiano Mayenko, who endears himself even more to the Madrid faithful. Now both center backs with cautions. Luka Modric's day is done.
Well, another nice performance by Luka, back to his old self in so many ways after having a very dodgy return this season after his exertions at the World Cup where he lit up the world. And Toni Kroos, another one that's been in the MASH unit for too long and his influence has been missed. Is slowly starting to get the big guns warmed up.
Too far for Doumbia. Courtois with his right foot.
Different environment when they travel to Girona, of course, so certainly Real Madrid hunting for that third goal because anything can happen in that tight confines of Girona and that fanatical fan base that they have. Good lead.
Around for Vasquez.
We'll take him on.
Driving on Juanpe. Goes through, but can't get out to the other side himself. Sweet touch in. Like bends it well. Space for Garcia. Measures, delivers. Doumbia tried to meet it on the volley, but missed the train at the station. Yes. Another chance.
Replay from the first goal. And Raul Garcia really taking the eye down this left side. When he is presented with a killer pass, he doesn't hesitate, and he sends another perler for Doumbia, and he cannot just catch it clean. Nacho, the ball's beaten Nacho. What a ball, absolutely tremendous from Raul Garcia.
Great pickup by Girona. Mojica blew his knee. It's an ACL injury that's going to knock him out for the season, and they plucked Garcia away from Leganés, and it looks like they have a keeper.
Yeah, modest player, ex-Alaves and smaller clubs, but quality in Big Raul.
Edge of the 6, playing his line. Courtois, collision though.
It's another perfect corner. Delivered.
Bernardo saying that there was no foul, but Llorente looking a little woozy. And the handball, and that's
oh, that's a penalty.
It should be clearly a penalty.
Yep.
And Nacho bumping into him from behind, but they do call the penalty, and they don't even need the video review. So it's Alex Granel, the Girona captain. Courtois, toes on the line. Granel with the left foot, launches it into the corner over the outstretched hand.
Tries to intimidate Granel, tries to put him off, but it was a penalty kick and it cannot be argued.
Ray looking back at the handball.
Tries to put him off, but it was a penalty kick and it cannot be argued.
Ray looking back at the handball against Marcos Llorente, and he might be young, but he's not a new player. He's got a lot of experience, including a
rush of blood from the young lad for sure, but it's cost them a second. Road goal now, and he senses that there's upset in the air. And what response now from Real Madrid? Girona out of the long grass for.
He is part of Real Madrid lore. He's a legacy. His great uncle was Gento. His dad, his grandfather both played in the Real Madrid system. Ball cleared away, and now think of it from a Girona perspective. In the span of a week, Ray, in 2 Copa del Rey games against Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid, they've scored 5 goals. And as you said, with 2 set as the ball cleared in. Back for Kroos, but he was not back in time. Offside. But imagine it's Ceballos who will exit. As you can see, again Llorente, just back from injury, does not look sharp. Pike. Little collision with Odriozola. Garcia took a tumble. Raul Garcia Carnero. And with a good step up. Pike Sung-ho out wide. All of a sudden, Girona looking more comfortable. Yesa. Lozano. But Vinicius gets there first. Fights through the...
Different sort of Real Madrid ever since Casemiro exited There's a lot of space for Girona to attack throughout this midfield, and certainly once Modric exited and Casemiro, there's a lot more to play with for Girona, and now Isco sees if he can.
All three midfielders have been exchanged. Llorente for Casemiro, Kroos for Modric, Isco for Ceballos. Now for Girona, still one substitute remaining. Maybe not Stuani, but you have to think what could happen. But a player at the same point, you might just want to hold on to the 2-2 at the Bernabeu. We have the veteran Per Pons, who could calm the midfield waters.
I don't think it's in Eusebio Sacristan's. He's a brave man, certainly building on the success of the last coach.
Machin might have had a stumble on the weekend, but showed they still have.
Saying, feed me over the top.
Forcing Nacho back. Now wide for Kroos.
He's got to come in, make himself a lot more available there.
Too hard by Garcia. Benzema calling for the throw. Benz with the touch. Looking long for Marcelo. Stops it. Delivers it. But reaching out, big Gorka.
Well, worth the temptations. His apologies there. Benz returns them. Picked Benzema out, but went for gold. Why not? It's Marcelo. He's certainly capable on his best day.
Yeah. As far as Toni Kroos, that possession actually a little more in favor of Girona than it was at the half.
Yep, you're right, Phil, and that's great defending from the ex-Barca man. Right on Benzema and from Vinicius, and then a lovely stab, square ball, and two brave men going it, and neither one of them backing out. Good defending.
Trickles wide for Vinicius. Ramos is up. Staying with them, Douglas Luiz, and the deflection will fall for the Brazilian. Gets rid of it for Lozano. Already one goal to his name. Ball back across, and again. Dumbia barking at the heavens.
Yeah, not the best ball by Lozano. Could have led him a lot further. And deeper.
Like this for
Benzema. Oh.
Look to be held.
Lucas Vazquez just arriving for that square ball from Benzema. That was the danger. And he sees it. Lucas Vázquez.
Look at the Copa ball. Most having a look at the Girona net. 2-2 at home. Leaves a lot of work for the second leg.
Have to be delicately fed for the big targets, which is the 4 and the 9, then and it goes solo. Fancied himself and smelled goal.
Away, Gorka drops to his line. Little slip at the penalty spot. Ramos saying there might have been a bump.
Whether it's accidental or incidental, did well, Lozano, but saying it was an accident. Marcelo says, yeah, put it in a letter.
19-time champions, Real Madrid. Against the upstarts from Girona. All level, less than a quarter hour to go. Second leg a week from today. As welcoming. Vinicius drops, Marcelo launches, and it's Ramos time to the rescue.
If this stays the same, cruel for Girona, but Los Vikingos rises. Vinicius, and then instantaneously puts it on an absolute golden order for the captain to trigger home. Rises like a salmon out of a fresh summer stream. And it's a big bucket full of knuckles header, but the ball to invite him onto it was purely exquisite. Has to play it first time, and he did. Absolutely with theodolite perfection.
Mayo and Ramos battling on the goal line. Did not want to leave him unmarked, but that threw all of them. Momentum off, and Ramos charging in to the rescue. His second goal of the day, his third of Lozano's day is done. The 26-year-old out of Murcia. He's scored 22 goals for Girona in just under 100 games. They could use.
Yeah, they're tough in spirit. And they certainly have showed that they have the class and the sting in their tail. And 2 road goals to take back to Catalonia. This is onside, and the first ball's played for Vinicius.
Left looking at the back of Lozano on a breakaway. It closes with Marcelo doing what he does best, which is creating for Real Madrid. 80th minute.
Well, that type of skill doesn't go away. There's truly a pixel-perfect pass from Marcelo after Vinicius sets it up. He's already picked him out. He knows where the captain is, and he puts it in an area over Muniesa, and then it's up to the captain, who comes swinging in like Tarzan on the vine. Well played. It's a good ball.
Looking for a fourth. Isco trips Vinicius. Benzema slots it home. Tic-tac-toe. Just like that. Real 4, Girona 2.
Synchronized football at the highest order. And again, Benzema's the thunder at the end of the lightning strike. But needlepoint passing, one-touch football on the move. They're like marbles on a glass table. And Girona cannot contain them. Starts out way deep. This ball is won upstairs, and then a flick on from Benzema for Lucas to Isco, who picks the right pass, and then this ball fed pixel perfect again, and it's in easy tuck away. We've seen them miss, people. We have seen them miss from that angle on a hopping ball. But Vinicius again, along with Isco.
Checking to see if it might have been offside on that final touch.
It's close.
He looks to be behind the ball, even if he might be just beyond the defenders. And they will count it. And Real Madrid coming from behind and now lead by 2.
Well, feel good type of game for Real Madrid, and they're in again. But Marcelo needed a pick-me-up. Isco needed a pick-me-up. And they certainly got it. Just being a part of the goals, and again, the best players coming back and starting to show up. Cruel scoreline for Girona. I think it's a fair one overall. Girona aren't finished when there's only around 15 minutes left on this clock with added time. Vinicius was signed, Phil. It was all the rumblings and the murmurs that they've overpaid for this young Brazilian from Flamengo. He hadn't been really tried at the highest level. He's just started to emerge, but the scouts said, no, pay the price and you'll be rewarded. And there's way more to come out of him than what we've seen so far. But what we have seen so far has been special and thoroughly typical of La Liga Santander. When they bring over the South Americans like him, they're usually right.
He makes things happen.
It's the promise of magic, and that's why you're paying your money to come into the stadiums like Santiago Bernabeu. The promise of magic, and when it's fulfilled, it's a wonderful thing to behold. And it's not just Vinicius. Over the years at Real Madrid, this bearded, bandy-legged little beauty's done it after emerging from Spain, and a number of others. This is a young, rebuilding team. Whether Solari's going to be here at the end, no matter what happens, Phil, is very, very dubious, I believe. They've got some massive mountains to climb for their 4th Champions League. But nothing's impossible for Real Madrid when they enter that killing stage of the Champions League.
Close. Sticking the needle into the corner for Benzema, who tracks it down. Met by Vasquez, appeals for a handball, but bang, bang, not enough time for intent, said the referee.
He's perfectly positioned, this referee. He's looking down the barrel of the gun, and he sees it directly. But regardless, wonderful play from Benzema. Again, nice lead pass to find the Frenchman. He's in here. Nope. Cannot swerve it enough from Vinicius.
India again. He's done well since making the move over from Roma. 3 goals combined in league and cup, but invisible today. Out for the corner kick. And now this is going to come all the way back
it could be
to
a
this.
Pen. Hits the arm. There's no movement of the arm. I don't think that's a penalty. In lifetime, that flash, it looked as if the arm may have moved, but it didn't. The ball striking an arm or a hand even in the penalty box sometimes in our game, it's not automatically a handball.
Marcelo back for Kroos. Weaves it across. Bernardo can't clear enough. Marcelo draws contact, but no. Saying he was playing for the contact.
The saying is good that he's smiling and he's challenging this deep into the game. He takes off like a teenager on a hot rod. I think he gets clipped. Take a look again. He kisses it by him. Maybe not. Those poor guys in that van down by the river.
Douglas Luiz. Juanpe. Garcia. Ike Shunho. The youngster who in an alternative reality would have been wearing the other uniform today.
What is it about these games between these two? We said earlier there's only met 3 times. 17 goals and no clean sheets, and we'll get the same back in Girona. There will be blood. There will be goals.
Isco under pressure from Luiz. In a good performance for Girona, but Real Madrid, that little touch of class has been eluding them this year, popping up to the rescue today.
You saw it, and I said to you, Phil, there was
a touch of his hand, but they're going to say it was because he was fouled. And he is the second youngest player to ever through Stoke and now on to Girona. Portu giving chase. So Ray, what we've seen as though the rocky times are over.
Yeah, you asked us that before, and you seem to be a little bit questioning the game against the method. Unlucky with their method, with their confidence, with their movement, everything. And today on a tricky surface regarding the tenacity of Girona and how strong. They just seem to be a much more coordinated side now, and a team that, again, I go back to they've connected with this White House crowd. It's starting to get back into sync, it seems.
On the floor. Just not show up.
Well, again, it's a late night and a midweek game, and that's part of the problems that always are put up with. Verve.
Next game at Espanyol, the return leg in Girona. The next home game to start February against, and their next game is at home against Barcelona. They will be up for it. It will be a battle, but it also won't be that easy. Then the second. In fact, just ahead of Girona in the table. Like spins and pirouettes,
nice
and then dumps it forward for Garcia.
He's had a good game, living in threat and always worrying Nacho. Hasn't had the best of service. He does here. Ooh. Evidently it was not. There's a good look at the Korean. There's another good South Korean at Valencia, Lee Kang-hin. So showing all before him, setting up the table beautifully on Big Ben's. Team spirit looks as if it's back.
That's another.